Hey guys, another heads up for this podcast. Due to technical difficulties, Spo had to record somewhere that's not his house, and he's gonna sound really funky. So now it's Spo's turn to sound weird in this episode. Just want to let you know before we get a bunch of comments asking why does Spo sound like garbage. And yeah, that's kind of why it's technical difficulties. I couldn't really fix it. Um, that being said, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So tell everyone you know about how super cool and awesome and fun and epic our podcast is. And yeah, that's about it. Enjoy the episode. Look at this podcast. Does it make you wanna laugh, or you think it's kind of stupid? It's about two Fupa Fellas, and they talk about shit that's kind of interesting. I guess maybe not really. I don't know where to go from here.
It's beautiful, honestly.
Thank you.
I'm trying my best not to cry in this library study room right now.
Yeah,
Crying at the library.
it's fucking, big handkerchief out of my pocket so I can blow my nose.
I was telling Django that I was the study room has like a big it's almost just a big window that just it displays me like a zoo exhibit. I feel like it's like there should just be a big sign that says podcaster. While I'm sitting here next to my iPad and like my bowl of kibble and like gerbil water bottle on the wall.
You should be proud of that, man. That's a big deal.
I wish they had a wheel for me to run on.
A little wheel. A little wheel
like
with a little drink tube, whatever those hamster things are supposed to be. I don't know.
Exactly.
Sounds like the most expensive loft you could get in New York, to be honest.
Okay, who here has been to New York? I'm curious because I haven't. I've never been to New York.
Once. I've been to New York once, actually, on an East Coast trip. Before we go into that, my name is Cheesymanfredo, and this is my co-host.
It's me, Spo.
Yep.
Yeah, who's this other guy here?
Who are you?
This third Fupa Fellow.
Well, hello. A lot of people know me as Abso. A lot of people know me as Jin. Either one works. Though when it comes to the more professional stuff, I tend to prefer JinJango. Whatever suits your fancy, though. You guys can call me whatever.
JinJango on the podcast, finally.
On the podcast.
Yeah,
We've all been waiting for it.
I think we should call the guest the Fupa Friends.
Yeah.
I think
Fupa
that
Friends,
works.
there we go, yeah.
Fupa
Not the Fupa
Friends.
guest.
No, you need the alliteration.
There's no alliteration there.
You need alliteration.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and then if the guest becomes evil, they become the Fupa Foe.
The Fupa Foe. So don't become evil, all
I'll
right?
be a Fupa
Don't make us
Foe.
regret you having it here.
I'll do my best. All I
right.
got, it's pretty easy. Just don't be a Minecraft YouTuber, and then you won't be evil.
That's true.
Uh-oh, too late.
Oh, dude.
15 years too late.
Fuck.
Let's Play. What's the... Damn, you try to start a Let's Play channel now? What the fuck are you supposed to play? I guess that was that one chameleon game where everyone's like hide and seek and you like color yourself. You're like little tiny white guys running around.
Little tiny white
You
guys.
should do shit like that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
you play a
crazy.
bunch
That
of...
game's pretty cool. I feel like you can't play Roblox because that makes you like a double pedophile. So
A double pedophile.
Oh no.
But I think what I mostly see out of people doing Roblox is like role playing as some sort of character and like harassing children seems to be the meta with Roblox.
that's the good meta. The harassing kids meta has never been better.
Yeah, I've seen like a guy pretending to be an old man just walking around like talking shit to people
That's
and just
crazy.
doing like an old man voice. I've seen
A pacemaker exploded.
I've seen a parrot guy that just stands near people having conversations and just records it and repeats it back to them, and then a horde of them show
That's
up.
fucking
It's
weird,
like,
but
Yeah.
I dig that. I like that. I think that's inspired.
yep, the new meta harassing children. We're not No more grooming children. We're harassing them.
I think that personally, like, one of the best things that you can do as an adult is lie to children. Not like in like a weird, creepy way, just like telling them like clearly misinformation. Like there was a family reunion for my grandma. She was turning 80, and we had a bunch of younger cousins that we usually don't see. So I just lied to them and said that I was like some kind of like Mexican worker that my family hired to just kind of babysit them, named Pedro. Like, and they totally believed me. It was insane. It's just I like completely fabricated an entire backstory, and then like they asked their parents about it. It's like, no, that's your fucking cousin. What, are you stupid? And just like smack them in the back of the head. It's like I'm teaching them early. You can't trust anybody in this world, man.
I always remember it was a similar thing. My grandpa at the time, like when I was like very young, he just like gaslit me into thinking his name was something called like George Pomanosky or whatever. Until I was like a teenager, I called him that, and everyone would call him a different name. I just never questioned why he only let me call him by that name. And it just became like, oh wait, he was fucking with me. I just never realized.
That's like a fucking.
I realized that at his funeral.
Oh wow!
Oh, no.
Wait, this can't. And you know, what'd be funny is you missed the funeral because you see like the morning of his actual name. You're like, well, that can't be Grandpa's funeral because that's not his name.
That?
Where's George? No, that's Grandpa's. Like you see your family members outside, and you're thinking like, well, they're at the wrong funeral because that's not his name.
They're just like, that's George Pomanosky's funeral. In the open casket, he smiles for some reason.
I love.
Oh my god!
I love the.
Put him in the ground.
Glassy eye looks at you and winks before they lower him into the earth.
Before his
vomit instantly.
No, that's
before
insane.
his spirit dust flies off, and you see him in the clouds. Arrivederci.
Oh god, golden wind.
Yeah. It's funny because the fake name he gave you had such like a pen name energy, like he was writing fucking mystery novels or something on the side.
Yeah, that's one of those things where I thought it like this has to be like an author or an actor or something from his time, but I looked it up. It's just a completely made up name, just off the dome one day.
Yeah,
should call.
It's impressive.
This is like this.
I think we should come up with. I think that should be our activity. Coming up with fake pen names.
I always liked
Glug McNugget is mine. That's my vote.
I love Sergio Carmelo. I think that's a really funny pen name.
That's awesome.
Sergey Carmelo. Yeah, Sergey Carmelo. I took it's one half the name of one of the bad guys from Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and then I just added Carmelo at the end.
Damn.
It just rolls off the tongue for me.
Man, that's crazy.
When you were talking about like lying to your cousins, I thought what you were gonna do was that you're gonna go up to them and you pull out your iPhone and say like, "Hey, check this out," and you show them like a clip of the Digital Circus, and you're like, "Yeah, I made that. That's me on Gooseworks."
That'd be crazy.
What?
No, just pull out a phone, just show them Live Leak and scar them for life.
That's me. I'm the guy that jumped off that building.
Oh no! Oh no!
Is Live Leak still around? Did you guys would you ever go on Live Leaks and look up your hometown to see what pops up?
I've never been on Live Leak.
Oh wow, I guess I'm the weird one. I guess I'm the weirdo. But yeah, I did that once, and I found like a clip of a guy jumping off a building off of a mall that I used to go to as a kid, and I'm like, oh, that's so crazy. I didn't know that happened there. Fun fact of the day: I don't think Live Leaks is around anymore, right? They took it down, right?
Yeah, I think they took it down, and I think that's kind of where it ended, right? You know, they just kind of like removed it.
Yeah, true. You can't find it on my Spoe, right? That's crazy. So you just watch videos of monkeys like ripping out people's faces? Is that what you're saying, Spoe?
I think I think I would just go to Live Leak and type in monkey and just see what there was. Like I think one time there was like this one where this guy was like trying to get to his motorcycle and there was just this macaque on there and he wouldn't get off and he had to like start throwing things at it. Eventually, the macaque just leaped at him.
Mm-hmm. So he was just throwing. How big is a macaque? It's like half your. No, wait. What am I thinking? Is a macaque like half your size, or?
It's probably like the size of like a toddler or something. So like if it got its full weight on you, it'd probably take you down.
Yeah. That is true. You have to really like. I do get that primal urge of like. I guess this is related, but when you're like at a boardwalk and you see a seagull and it tries to take your food and you get the urge of grabbing it by the neck or something and trying to like chucking, like trying to like slam it against like the wooden like boardwalk itself to break its neck or something.
Just like Robert Patterson in The Lighthouse, just grabbed that seagle and like smacked it against the side of the house like 50 times.
Yeah, but I'm not at a lighthouse. I'm in front of my friends and family and doing that.
You should put the GIF on screen right now of Robert Patterson grabbing the seagull and smacking it into red paste.
Yo, spoiler for The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. He messes up that bird.
That is the least interesting part of the movie. That's the
Spoiler for Lighthouse. It's all about Robert Pattinson killing seagulls.
Listen. The Lighthouse. I remember I showed it. So I'm just gonna tell you there are many stories that I could tell you about my father. One of them was when I tried to show him The Lighthouse, and we watched it, and like it was just really funny because like it's got Willem Dafoe and Robert Patterson, and he likes Willem Dafoe, and I just remember we watched it. And after we watched it, I looked to him and I was just like, had my big, googly eyes waiting to see his reaction. He's just like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know why you showed me that.
Interesting. Did he think he was in trouble or something?
No, he just didn't get it. Like I explained it later. My interpretation of it, which is really funny because like my dad is the type of guy to make like really hyper specific memes about small accomplishments that he has made in his life. Like there was one time that he managed to order a full car engine from California instead of replacing his car, and he was so proud about that he made a Gus Fring like "We are not the same" meme, but the caption was like, "You bought a replacement car from a greedy woke corporation while I brought over like an engine from California. We are not this." It was literally like full caption, like the caption was filling up the entire screen. Like it's just really funny. I don't know. There's a lot of things I could tell you about my dad.
No, that's awesome. That's right. Making like esoteric memes. What does he post it on Facebook? Is that what's going on?
He just sends it to us, like his kids. Like that's it. Like
check it out.
He just sends it to us. Like there was another time that he just like posted some like he finds like a bunch of AI generated memes that online of like Franklin pointing at a chalkboard and saying this is what Fauci deserves and all that kind of stuff.
I was about to say he probably gets that image of the big fat black guy kicking those crocodiles and he puts like Fauci over the crocodile and like the black guy as Trump. Like
it's like it's just really funny. I love my dad. He's like the best person I know.
Just imagine like your dad just posting that one image of like the fat woman with the big rock falling onto the glass bridge and killing.
Have you
like,
seen
20
this?
people.
Have you seen this? Oh my god! They just let her do this.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard of this? Oh, I'm just joking. You guys really fell for it, though.
Yeah, no, he would do that. That's like the one time that he ended up like, so he came to visit me when I got my first apartment, and he was hanging out with my roommate, and my dad is like a huge fan of South Park, so my roommate's like, I'll put on South Park, right? While I was at work because I was working, and apparently, according to my roommate, he was just like putting on like a couple of episodes of South Park, and my dad's words were, just don't put on any of the Mr. Garrison episodes; they're too gay.
Interesting.
It's just like, what do you mean? Like what?
That's interesting. I guess this person would hypothetically have to exist. Someone who doesn't like a certain character, but don't put on his episodes.
It's just I don't know.
I think when it came to the Mr. Garrison one, the only one that really like grossed me out as a kid was the one where it's like they were getting bottom surgery and they just showed like real footage of it. I'm like, oh my god, how can you show this on TV?
That was gnarly. Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I don't want to make this the my dad podcast though. So, what exactly are we here to talk about? What's the purpose
Okay.
of this episode?
Well, mostly I kind of wanted to because we've been I get not exactly like we don't have like a fucking schedule or whatnot, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I feel like we should talk more about like the artistic projects that we're in because the last couple have been kind of more sidetracked by guest or like pop culture related stuff, and I think and I wanted to talk about on the podcast about Spo going to MomoCon because we didn't get a chance to talk about that. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing because Django here was there with me, so we can
Nice.
we can both talk about a lot of stuff that happened there.
Yeah, because
we can talk about Atlanta. I hate you, Atlanta.
Atlanta, the place we were at in MomoCon, like specifically, like in Atlanta, it was awful. Like our Airbnb was, I kid you not, right next to like the most generic cartoon crack house you've ever seen. It was like the windows were boarded up. There was like
not just boarded up. There were bars behind the windows too.
There was like spray paint on it that said "God be with ye" on it. It was like some
that
shit
kind of goes
like
hard.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
it does go hard. There was another like house like on the same block, like down the street, that looked like it got hit with a drone, and we're like, oh.
Like an actual drone strike.
I feel like we're gonna wake up here and our cars are gonna be on cinder blocks. I think we gotta be careful in this neighborhood.
Yeah, like the time that I got fucking towed, but that's a story for later on.
Oh shit! Damn.
That's like that's a third act sort of twist there.
Sounds like you guys were in the fucking neighborhood from Barbarian.
Dude, like I kid you not, like we went there. The inside of the Airbnb was actually pretty pleasant. You know, like it was actually nice on the inside, but everything about like going outside to drive, like I kid you not, like, so here's the thing. I currently am, there in Atlanta just for school reasons, but, we decided to set aside some time to go to MomoCon. And, I go to pick up one of the people who is going to be with us at MomoCon. And the reason why is actually because of the project that, me and Spo have been kind of collaborating on. But I go to pick up one of our other artist friends for this convention, and we drive to the Airbnb, and we go under an overpass, and there's literally like a guy just curb stomping another, like it's two homeless people. One of them is actually just curb stomping the other one in the head, like under a bridge, as I'm driving by.
This other friend, like a block away, was just aimlessly wandering around downtown Atlanta, by the way. Just like no idea there was a man being killed like 10 feet away from him.
That actually happened like beforehand. So, the thing was like I was in class, so I couldn't pick him up because, I was in class, and I just told him to get the MARTA train because Atlanta has, they have like the public train system. MARTA's like not ideal, by the way. Like everything smells like urine when you go into it.
Epic.
But yeah, so he takes the MARTA train. We meet up at the school, and I take him to the Airbnb. And on the way there, we just happen to look outside the window, and this guy's getting curb stomped, like just out of nowhere. It's crazy. I don't know. It's like, what else to say. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Atlanta, Cheesy?
No, I have not been. No, I have not been to Atlanta.
It's the town is already built, like basically, so there's one highway that goes through the entire town that everyone wants to get on, and people will die to get on this thing. No one there knows how to drive. It is just like, it is Mad Max over there.
Nice.
Probably the maddest I've ever been driving is in Atlanta.
I was Mad Maxing over there.
I was Mad Maxing, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we get to the Airbnb, and we just happen to run into everybody there, and everything goes well. So the first day of the convention, everything goes fine. But the second day, aside from just the random instances of just having crash outs every time that we get behind the wheel, because we were constantly,
like
arguing
when we got
with like
to
insane
MomoCon,
people.
Everything was fine. Like that was like, it was a nice time. Everything was there. It's just like, and being at the Airbnb was fine. It's just like the, like 10 minutes in between is absolute hell driving.
Yeah. And so like the thing is that I'm going there on the first day and I take the MARTA train because I'm going with a few people from school. You know, it's kind of like a school thing that we go to MomoCon, and we take the MARTA train, and this is just completely separate from the other group of people who were involved with Diesel Train. Like I kid you not, like we get to the platform getting ready for the train, and we get approached by this guy, at least like 400 pounds. Only wearing a jacket and pants, no shoes, only wearing a jacket and pants, had a big tattoo in his big fucking gut, said 600 pounds of muscle. His eyes are going off in different directions, and he's
Obviously
like trying to stop
comedian.
us, like panhandle. Yeah, like a real like Batman villain type character, just holding his hand out, being like, I got a prison. Can I get some money, please? I just got a prison. Can I get some, like trying to panhandle us? So.
Just one eye on the streets, one eye on the grind kind of guy who's like,
real.
Looks like something from Streets of Rage.
So, we got, and you guys said no, and then he pulled out a big rock, and he said, "I'm gonna take out."
No. Yeah, he was gonna just jump backwards and destroy the entire train platform. We were in a really perilous situation for certain. Yeah. For certain.
You could see the big caveman club hanging out of his pants like a Glock, and we're like, okay, we got to give him some money.
I've been in prison since like 100 BC, actually.
I gotta tell you, man, I have lived. So I've lived in like Sao Paulo, like Brazil. Mm-hmm. I feel safer there than I do in Atlanta. I've lived there for 7 years, and I immediately prefer living in Sao Paulo, Brazil, from living in Atlanta. But that's neither here nor there. We get there, we have a good time. Like I said, like Spo said, like, going to the convention, being there was a blast, and we ran into so many cool people. We had a great time. It was just driving and everything that wasn't in a closed area where we had 4 walls to protect us that was stressful, because the second day I ended up getting scammed in a scam lot, because the thing was, the first day we could park outside of the convention center, no problem. But then the second day, they require that you reserve parking online. So we were just going there. It's like, oh, fuck, we don't have any place to park. So we're just kind of looking around, trying to find a place to park. And we find this parking lot that looks pretty shady, but we were just like stressed out. Desperate. And all that.
Yeah.
And, 2 guys, one of them is wearing like a construction vest. They didn't have any options for credit card. I should have picked it up. That just kind of is my bad.
Yeah, that gives it away.
Weren't really, yeah. So I got, I take the fault on that one. I should have been a little bit more smart. But the time we get back there after the second day is over, which is great, by the way, we get to go up on Rebel Taxi's podcast. That was pretty fun, or their Q&A. You remember? That was pretty fun, Spo.
We were walking around the place, like, for context, we had shirts that had QR codes to the website for our webcomic Diesel Train. We were also handing out physical copies to some people that we had that had like the first 3 chapters and the sort of QR code. And we also had business cards. So we were out there, like, we went to some, there was some like VTuber streaming, and we definitely, they let us show off the QR codes, which was nice of them. We handed out some to some people. One was a bit ironic. We got in line to, I think it was like Django and some of the others who were getting in line to hand one to Jorge Gutierrez, which that was before he became an AI guy and not became an AI guy.
Yeah, that was all the same. It was literally a couple days after, right?
Yeah, literally like 2 days afterwards, we're like, fuck, dude, he just ruined his entire reputation. He just posted him having a picture with us about our webcomic. Fuck, dude. And then he's like, oh, never mind. It's like, okay, good.
Yeah,
it was a close one.
It was pretty stressful, but yeah, we ran into a lot of cool people. It was awesome. And then we went to the Rebel Taxi because Spo you knew him through a friend, right? That's how.
Oh yeah,
was?
I mean, me and Cheesy both know him.
Yeah, me and Spo actually. I think me and Spo. No, we were friends before. We were both on the Pizza Party podcast. I think we were like mutuals, right?
Yeah, we were, and then we started talking and stuff, and we knew each other through his sort of extended,
I guess, fan. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but I think the first time me and Spo has been on a podcast was the Pizza Party podcast. Like when we've been like, yeah. I know I know Pan Pizza. He's a bud of mine.
Exactly. So. Yeah, no, we got to meet back up with him again, which was cool. We got to give one to Paul Dini. He gave us some free prints in exchange for it, which was neat.
Ooh, neat.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Paul Dini, he was a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
You have no magician. You have no fucking magician lady in your comic. He would have loved that. That's his.
Damn, you're right.
That's his thing. You know about that?
Is he the one who's like who pushed for Zatanna so much?
Yes, Zatanna is like his waifu, and he's married to a female magician.
Damn, dude.
Like I'm not joking.
He's got a magician fetish. All right, who could blame him?
Yeah. Just like the CEO of Gearbox, he's got a magician fetish.
Yeah, it's
what?
You don't remember? The fucking guy who was in charge of
Borderlands
Borderlands. Yeah, I forget his name. What was it? Randy Pitchford?
Birch? Randy Pitchford.
Yeah, Randy Pitchford. He got caught with a bunch of porn on his hard drive, and it's just like, oh no, she's a magician. I was looking for magicianal purposes.
He got caught with magician porn.
Caught with 1 terabyte of magician.
Well, no, the thing was that it was just porn, and he was trying to explain it where she just magically made that zucchini disappear. I don't know how it happened.
They capture the magician porn, and he's all like, well, now you see it, and he like makes the hard drive disappear. Now
Exactly. There you go. We're getting off topic from the story.
Enough about Paul Dini, the sick fuck. Yeah. What else happened?
Paul Dini, good friend of the show.
Good friend. When we get back, so we leave, and we go back to the lot, and it's entirely cleared out. Like there are at least 20 to 30 cars there before, and it was all gone. And we go over to some dudes up the hill, blasting music. On their cars, getting a little bit nervous, just like, hey, what happened? It's like, oh yeah, they towed the entire lot. And it's like, well, fuck, man, how did that happen? We got fucking scammed. And we go to the fucking tow place, and the funniest thing about it was that a bunch of other people who went to MomoCon got scammed too. So there was just a Boa Hancock cosplayer over there in the corner, just with her head in her hands.
Wow, everyone's here.
Just fucking that's the funniest thing. It was just nothing but cosplayers there over there at the tow office that were just sitting there having the worst day of their life. It's just it would almost be like Curb Your Enthusiasm-esque bit to just walk up to the cosplayer and be like, oh hey, your costume looks nice, and she's just choking back tears.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really just kind of crazy. And man, dude, there was a prayer. This was a Jehovah Witness prayer on the wall, entirely made with AI, right? It was an AI image with an AI prayer, and it was almost just kind of a spit, or really just kind of twisting the knife, where it's just they're taking this position so highly of just oh yes, Lord, please give me the strength to help these people in need as their cars break down. Meanwhile, I'm 99% sure that they're working with the scammers to just get themselves some extra money. There's no way that because the thing was they were talking about how the owner of the church near the lot was the one who called it in, but then other people started asking, is okay, well, can I have the number so I can talk about it? It's oh, we can't actually tell you who made the call. So it's just okay, well, your story's inconsistent, and all this other crap is weird. You look on their website, there's a bunch of 1-star reviews from people saying that their shit got stolen out of their cars and all that kind of. It was this whole big deal.
Yeah,
I had to pay $300 to get my car taken out of the lot. It was a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
One bit that was just unintentionally funny is like I was sitting there with him at the lot while we were like trying to get it paid and everything, and we had some we had some business cards for the webcomic, and just I could hear from like the most gritted teeth possible. He was looking at the lady at the counter, just like saying, "Do you like webcomics?" And he just sort of handed them up, just slid them a business card, which that's important for the hustle,
Yeah, it's important for the hustle. I at least wanted to say, hey, maybe somebody from that whole business ends up reading our webcomic and they see that
exactly.
We put in a tow company that gets blown up or something like that. And, that's just kind of my satisfaction. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You live and you learn.
Yeah, in that place too, there was also like these TVs that had like these obviously AI generated people like staring at the screen, staring like just sort of forward, like an Oblivion NPC, just sort of saying what you need to do if you had gotten towed or whatever, and explaining the procedure. It's like, this place is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, this sounds. This poster though, fucking is cracking me up. It's really like putting this holy oh, thank you God for my tow trucking abilities.
Yeah.
The thing was, it's facing the people who are coming in to get their car back. It's not in the workroom where the prayer would probably be most effective, right? Because who is this prayer directed at? You would figure that it would be for the people who are working there, but they're not seeing this.
They're 100% in on the scam. Like, this is their operation.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like way around. Because this is the kind of shit you tell yourself. Like, yeah, like doing this stuff is like the kind of shit you have to tell yourself in order to not feel really guilty about scamming people every year with fake parking lots. Like, oh well, I'm really up to God who gives our directions. See, I'm a good person because I worship God, and it's like, all right, okay, buddy, this is really epic.
Yeah. It really, no, I think you're right. It definitely feels like this is what they need to tell themselves so they don't think, my evil, is that my job to be evil?
No, it's
well, if that's the case, then why isn't it there in their office? Why is it like facing us, the people who are being scammed?
Because they want you to know they're good people. Because they're betting on the well, if they see that we're God fearing, they're gonna assume we're good people actually. Because we're very God fearing actually. Yeah, we're scamming you for money, whatever. But and we steal the shit from your car. But that all goes to the church, really. And it is the guy who runs the church who's running the scam. Oh, that's so really fucking epic. How many?
It's pretty crazy.
So this was like the night of the second day of MomoCon, then.
Second day of MomoCon, third day, I learned my lesson. I reserved the online parking, and then we ended up, going there and meeting Sam Riegel. That was pretty cool. And we were just kind of giving out as many volumes to as many people as we could, and I feel like overall that was a pretty successful way to sort of start off what we're trying to accomplish with promoting Diesel Train in the first place.
Yeah,
I gotcha. I get that, and I feel like we probably should have explained what Diesel Train was first before getting into this story. I read up to I don't know. Do you guys? When was the last time you showed me Spoke? I did read all of it that first time you showed me, and I don't know if there's more pages.
It might have just been up until because when we made the website, we just put the first 3 chapters up there, and we've been sort of slowly trickling out a new page a week. So you probably read to the end of chapter 3 at least.
Yeah, I think I did. Yep.
Yeah, so just to kind of explain what Diesel Train is, the pitch that I gave to a lot of people at MomoCon is that it's a Y2K murder mystery, in the sense of that it takes place in the year 1999, and it follows a group of psychics who are trying to uncover a supernatural murder mystery that's going on in a small town called Coffee Pot. And it takes place over the course of the year, and it originally started out as a D&D campaign that I've been DMing for the past 2 years. That's basically the pitch.
That's neat.
It's got sort of a Twin Peaks thing to it, but with a little bit of Mob Psycho thrown in, I guess. Where it's sort of the the murder mystery is kind of this entity, kind of like Bob. I had to show him Twin Peaks because I was telling him you gotta watch Twin Peaks because this will, people are going to compare this to it.
Yeah. I never watched
gotcha.
Twin Peaks before. It was pretty wild to watch it the first time.
When David Lynch passed away, I did finally watch the first episode. But before that, I was like, I loved Eraserhead. Blue Velvet is like on my top 10 of like greatest films ever made, in my opinion.
I definitely gotta watch that.
Oh, Blue Velvet's awesome, really fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm looking because I got here on my phone the Diesel because I did read it and I'm trying to formulate my opinions. I think it was interesting, but at the same time, I was very much thinking like, where is this going? I wonder, because I think the first 3 chapters feel very much still like a prologue almost, if you will. I mean, I guess that's why you guys posted those first 3, right? You know, because you want to show like the characters. I did see you fix that one thing I mentioned about putting the year in the first page, so we have like context of like how long it's been, right?
Yeah. It was one of those things where I kind of wanted it to be, because the idea it's like it's sort of a shocking opener, but I definitely agreed with certain points, especially after we showed it to enough people that okay, I'll put a year there.
Yeah.
Neat.
I do also need to say that originally we were going to add more context to a lot of the stuff because originally we were going to try to make the volumes 5 chapters, but due to time constraints, we had to cut it down to 3. So we weren't really able to get a lot of what we wanted to done in time. But the fact that we were still able to print out a physical volume in the first place just kind of goes to show how dedicated all of us were in the process of making this. We were working so hard.
Yeah, we're still doing those other chapters. We're just, doing it on the more weekly schedule where it's like we'll post at least a page a week. We're hoping to get more once we kind of get a buffer zone built up, which we're currently doing, but we've been consistent with doing at least a page a week for these other 2 chapters of the 5, which sort of show off the other 2 protagonists of the sort of main 4 here.
No, I gotcha. I hear I think Spo told me you guys were like looking for someone to publish the series potentially. That's very tough nowadays.
We are trying to sort of garner a little bit of financial backing. We understand that as independent creators that's not really something that's going to happen overnight. You kind of have to build up an audience first. So the goal that we're trying to do is just to maintain a consistent schedule that will eventually lead into maybe the ability to sell merchandise or stuff like that. There are a few places that I've considered submitting for publication. One of them being maybe I don't know if maybe it's a little bit wishful thinking. Image Comics, Heavy Metal. I know Heavy Metal is coming back. They're kind of more of like a out there in terms of getting kind of that gritty sort of horror-y vibe. There's also a few local places who I've spoken with. One of them is in Atlanta where I'm studying, so it's mostly just we've spent a lot of time getting the material done. Now comes the point where we're trying to balance getting things out there while also looking for sponsors.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing is like we definitely were looking at seeing what we can look at when we're at MomoCon and stuff, but now that that's kind of passed, I think mostly we just want to worry about building a following online and getting a consistent pages out every week, and then when it comes to publishing and stuff, that's stuff we can focus on once we have people who know what this is. Like that at the end of the MomoCon thing was mostly just to get eyes on this thing.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Do you guys have
publisher? It's just
do you guys have
on top as the publisher?
Yeah. Now I feel that. Do you have a way to measure like metrics?
We've been using, or at least trying to do like Google Analytics to try and get sort of a metric for how that's going.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that based on the amount of people that have scanned the QR code, we've gotten over 100 people to scan the QR code, which is a good start, I think. Um, we also have just been, we have social medias to publish updates on, hey, here's a chapter every so often, so let's kind of like keep working towards that.
So like trying to do like more mini like comic strip things that are a bit more shareable, I guess, because something that can kind of stand on its own in a way.
No, I got you. It's tough though. I get where you guys are coming from, because I've been like, as of late, not recently, but like for the longest time, I have been doing my own physical comics and self-publishing and like making money off of that, to a point where you're like sustainable is very like, it's very tricky if you don't have like because like if I'm the one point in my life where I was doing like a lot of like physical comics was at the start of quarantine, when I did the old version of my Villainverse series, and that wasn't like too bad, but ultimately I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't making enough money to sustain myself with it, and I had to get I had to get a real job, right? And that takes like so much time. Before that, I was I had like a lot of money from my old job coming in, and it's been tricky, because
what's the thing you've been working on now?
As of right now, I am currently doing a rough draft for a continuation comic for another of my old webcomics called My Alien Girlfriend Doesn't Know I'm an Alien.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did that recently because someone on TikTok reposted the old My Alien Girlfriend comics, and they blown up. And
wow.
I got like a huge boost in like followers because this other person reposted it. And then some people told me like, that's kind of fucked up that they're getting like all this like clout from your comic. I'm like, no, this is good, because it's like I'm getting like a percentage of that, right? I mean, then I reposted.
That's kind of the thing, right? Like the whole like comic dub or whatever market is big for this kind of stuff. Like, because I've definitely seen that and noticed it from a lot of that is a big market to get people interested in the stories. Just have small little vignettes that you can have someone voice over, and then like people will follow it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's but making it's kind of tough when it comes to like making like any kind of art, really, because like you want to make stuff that like kind of feeds your soul. You get what I'm saying? Like you want to make stuff that's worthwhile for yourself, right? But here's the annoying part: that doesn't guarantee people will pay to like for it, right? So it's like, shit, well, fuck, like you gotta like be sustained somehow. And I think what I try to do is usually look for like, I don't think people want to present themselves as people with like really like good taste or whatnot, be some sort of contrarian or whatnot, but like everyone likes something that's mainstream. I think something that's very like good to try to do is when you make something that you want to make, is you find that balance between something you want to make and something that will potentially make money. So you have to like see what's popular, what do you like that's popular, and what's your version of that popular thing. And I know some people talk about like you should only really make stuff that's like worthwhile for you, or like that you could be committed to or whatnot. People really talk about like what kind of headspace you should be in when you make something, and I kind of like disagree with that, because you can't really tell what kind of headspace someone was when they make something. Like you can't really like understand someone like psychologically when they like when after the stuff they make, because there could be stuff that you really like, and then the person who made it could be like, oh, I just bullshitted that, I just fucking just slapped that together, I didn't really care, I really kind of hated working on it, to be honest. Right? But could you tell? Like, no, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's definitely something we've been trying to do a lot with Diesel Train, is like we want to make something that is kind of marketable and something that like goes into like stuff that we enjoy and think about a lot, and thinking about like how we can implement certain ideas in a way that like a person reading it would find interesting, is like that's almost like a good artistic exercise right there, like being able to make it so an audience can understand it.
Yeah.
Like, even if something makes sense to you, or like you like it, like how do you make a random person who maybe has never read a comic in their life understand it or like it even?
I'll say this much: I've always kind of, because I've like done kind of like promotions like publicly to people and like groups, and like gone to events and like try to promote my stuff online, and I noticed that the traction is never, it's never that, you never get too much traction from that really. But I get the urge of wanting to do that. Mostly the most traction from like years of like doing this, even before Villainverse I was doing like other web comics. Like what I noticed gives you the most traction is like unironically like being on podcasts, or like shout outs on like YouTube videos, or like shout outs like on podcasts or whatnot. Because there was a comic I used to make called Bongo and Luna, and I remember the one time the biggest jump I ever got was when I paid for a promotion from, do you guys remember the YouTuber Monkey Jones?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, so he made a video, and he had this thing where if you gave him $15, he'll say whatever you want at the end of his video. So I gave him $15 to promote Bongo and Luna. I made him like say stuff like Bongo and Luna is my favorite webcomic of all time. Go read it, right? And that jumped me up like really up there. And even like I would pay for promotions back on the Pizza Party podcast. Those all would give me like really big boosts. I think what also helps is when you have more of like, because Google Analytics is only when you get like mentioned, right? It's not really like, I guess technically the more you get mentioned, the more that's like a good thing. But like, I think it's better to when you have like a metric that's more like specific. Like you could see how many people engage with the website, right? Like whoever's like running the website. Like you could,
that's kind of what we were trying to use Google Analytics for, because you can actually put code into your your stuff in order to track how much people are engaging with the website.
How much traction do you guys get?
Unfortunately, we're kind of not. We're still trying to figure it out. We've been having a little bit of problems with the website, but those are minor, and we probably should have them fixed within the next few weeks, so I'll get you an answer for that if you ever invite me back.
No, I mean, no, I'm fine with, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with you being back. I'm cool with that. You haven't pissed me off yet. I mean, I get it. Like you wanna, it's you want to get as much attention as possible. I think my strategy was back when I was doing Villainverse was to do like a self-publish thing where I would have a Google form and people would basically just pre-order copies of the comic like physically, and that did a pretty decent job, but it never like it made enough, but never, it broke even. It never made too much of a profit, right? But I've been seeing a strategy, and I kind of wanted to implement this for the next comic that I make. Was that people would just kind of just do Kickstarters for every like chapter, and not necessarily like you'll finish the chapter first and then you do a Kickstarter, but then you treat the Kickstarter like a pre-order page. And I've been seeing that strategy be very fruitful for people, I
feel like something that could be good for like a Kickstarter is like doing, like you could use that as a way to pay for comic dubs or something, because I definitely thought of the idea of like doing a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo for like, once we get like a certain ways into it, where we can like say, oh, this is the first arc. Just be like, all right, let's do a Kickstarter or something for a comic dub. And that way you have something that can be clipped up and you can post it on like YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever, right?
No, that's true. I did my own comics dub for excuse me, for my comic McPugliacci. And that one did fine. Maybe I should cut it up and post it. It's so tricky to I think people hate talking about it, but everyone wants to be popular, everyone wants to get attention for the things that they do, right? And you want to you want to work towards that, because you guys, I assume, are in a position where you could do Diesel Train, and it's not like you're not losing money, right? Like, you're not like, oh, I could be working on my actual job that gets me money, you don't think like that. I assume you're in a comfortable enough position to be working on this comic, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, exactly. So it's when you, because I've been in positions, I mean, I'd say I'm still kind of in a position like that, where it's not the most fruitful to be working on a comic right now, to instead be focusing on my actual job that makes me money, you know. So it's tricky, So then you can only prioritize the things that make you money, the things that could get you more attention, and that's and it all just depends on where things go, I I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about you got to be persistent and
Yeah, true.
be willing to keep getting it out there, even if sometimes it fails, sometimes it doesn't. Like when you were making My Alien Girlfriend, you probably had no idea. Oh, this is gonna really pop off on TikTok.
It's gonna pop
6 years later.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't have that. I mean, no, that's true. That's true. That's why you want to keep making stuff, no matter what it is, because there's so many things that didn't pop off when they first were created. Like Among Us didn't get popular until 2 years after it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's I think I see a lot of people talk about that game Fear and Hunger, and it's that game came out in 2018 and no one cared about it until a YouTuber made a video on it and it became this super popular game. It's it's about persistence. At the end of the day, you have to making what you're making and think, all right, this thing definitely has legs, and I definitely enjoy making it with Django and the team that we have here. I think we do writers rooms every week and sort of have been making pages pretty consistently. We're definitely lucky that we have a team for this. We have 2 artists, we have 3 3 artists, including me, and 2 writers. So we're able to sort of pitch ideas around and get different perspectives, which is definitely a rare thing when you're kind of doing this sort of independent space, I think.
Yeah, I haven't really heard too many people do a setup kind of like what you guys have, where it almost feels like you guys have a production team. It's not even necessarily this. It's not I mean, you could compare it to what mangakas do, where it's the manga artist and then all the assistants, but it's not really. From the sounds of it, doesn't really sound like that's what it is. It sounds more more like what they do for a show,
Yeah, when it comes to drawing it, we definitely took a lot of influence from the mangaka way, where Django here does all the character art, I do the backgrounds, and then we have a separate guy who does all the rendering and sort of separating characters from the background and all that. We technically have 2 people who can do that if we really need to kick it into gear. But yeah, no, we've got enough of a team here to where we can definitely get a page out a week pretty easily, and it's just building. It's just doing that while also building a buffer is the thing that's really gonna push it to the limit, I think.
For sure.
I hear you. And Jin, you're are you the art director? Is that, I think that's what Spo told me. What's that like?
So, since this was originally a D&D campaign, it was my story, and they were the ones who were kind of in control of the characters. So when it came to drawing, you'll notice, especially in like the first chapter, there was a lot of jumping around between art styles. A lot of the pages you can
I
distinctly
noticed.
see that it's like Spo's style, right? So it was mostly just because we didn't really know what we wanted to do. You know, we were kind of like doing this thing where I would pencil a few pages, then I would ink, then I would sketch, like, you know, do thumbnails, and then we just kind of like had this pipeline. And it kind of worked, but it was also, we were taking too long. So I just said, hey, I'll be in charge of the character art. You know, I'll do the art directing. That way, we don't really have a conflict on the vision. We can save a lot of the sort of discussion for the script writing, which is I would say writing and doing like scripts and whatnot is my weakness. So I let everybody else kind of fill in those gaps, and Spo does a lot of like the background stuff. So what I would kind of do is I would take the thumbnails that our cleanup artist does, and I would sort of draw over the characters. I have a very distinct style, so I think that it falls in line with the vision that I was trying to create with the story. And then I would set up a lot of the, you know, sort of a lot of the set markers for backgrounds to help Spo go in and finish, and then we would kind of go from there. So it was mostly just keeping in line what I wanted for the vision of the story, and then just kind of allowing a little bit more freedom for the people who came afterwards to just sort of do their own thing. Like, I know that when it came to drawing things like the White Gem Hotel, Spo was kind of the one who took the initiative on coming up with the building design and being unique with it. And I was like, oh, I really like that. I wouldn't really have thought of that. So I kind of I let people do what they think works best in those situations, because since we're all working together, we kind of have to trust each other, right?
Right.
But that's basically it for being an art director. I'm mostly just kind of the guy who's like, you know, maybe we can touch up things there, but for the most part, I'd say that I'm just kind of doing the exact same thing I did when it came to DMing the campaign in the first place, which is just keeping things open for change, but being just kind of firm and stating, hey, this is kind of how I want the story to look.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job of keeping like a idea of what the style is for everyone to sort of follow. I started doing the backgrounds. I also try to like, you know, look at the scripts and stuff and try to keep everything short, because our script writers aren't exactly familiar with how comics work sometimes. Like, they're very much like more traditional like writers. So like I've had to be like, go in there and be like, okay, listen, these scripts are good, but this is way too many panels for one page. Let's see if we can condense some stuff here. Let's see if we can move some stuff to another page. And also just like give them work to do, because like especially now we got like a good like 11 pages chapters written out, and we're working on the fourth. So it's like we don't really need to write more chapters right now, but we can definitely go in and like try to punch things up for things we haven't done yet. And that's sort of what I also try to do. And yeah, we kind of have a guy who does our sort of storyboards and thumbnails, who's also our cleanup guy.
Yeah, and he's really good with it.
Yeah,
you can say his name. You can say all these people's names. You know, if you want to shout them out, it's fine.
I'll say I know some people have requested to remain anonymous, so I'll respect their wishes.
All right, never mind.
But
never mind.
You know, I'm sure that Crete doesn't mind. Like Crete, he's the one who does the thumbnails. He's got really strong traditional style, so he just comes up with thumbnails at work, and I really like how he does it. So it's really easy for him to do that. So that's why I think that's kind of like the position that works best for him. Mostly,
it also
comes down to
handy.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's also handy for him because, like, when it's a D&D thing, each one of us had our own like player character or whatever, and his specifically was kind of like was the barista guy you saw in like chapter 3. He's kind of like a Baki character who kind of acts odd. So like the fact that he's able to sort of draw out how his actions works kind of helps make a lot of the jokes land a lot better with him, because he has a very particular way he wants in like acting and talking that he can kind of show to us because he's the storyboard artist there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that it just kind of works a lot for us because we're all kind of playing into a lot of things that work best for us. I mean, Spo, I'm not sure really if you did a lot of background stuff before, but for what you've done for the comic so far, I think that you've done fantastic.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely been a unique challenge. It's nice to try to think in that sort of way when you're used to doing a lot of character art, and it's also just learning how to use a lot of the ruler tools in like CSP that you never really mess with that much, but realizing, oh yeah, these are really handy once you know how they work.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Having people rely on you is really good motivation to learn these things.
Right? Oh yeah, no. When you're sitting there like, and you're like, oh man, I need to draw these backgrounds for this page, and the deadline Saturday. That's when we post the pages, and this still needs to be filled. I don't want to make the filling guy, have to rush it, so I need to do this right now.
I gotcha.
It helps you. It helps you sort of budget your time too, because like, okay, this won't take me that long, and I can do this, and then do all this other stuff for whatever personal work I have or like commission work I have to do or whatever.
I gotcha. I think the listeners listen up. Yeah, like having like people that rely on you is really good motivation to like wanting to get better at something in art that you're not like to, because I know everyone has trouble with the backgrounds. Everyone's always like, oh god, I gotta figure out backgrounds. But like when you're by yourself, you're like, you don't really care too much, or I mean, you want to care, but you don't really care too much. But once you have people that like need you, like once there's people there that have standards and taste, and you want to like, look good for them, you want to get better at it, and that's like motivation. I think having that is really helpful. I think I really do like this this project. It's very I think I'll say this. I think I'm more interested in like the behind the scenes of this project than the project itself, though. I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, and I mean it's really helpful that you guys already have the campaign finished, so that kind of already works as your rope for where the story's heading, right?
Oh, it's
at the moment, it's actually not done.
The campaign isn't
finished. We're getting
finished?
Towards the end, but we're at a point where there's so much, and it's going to take us a long time to get to a point where those kind of questions are going to be, troublesome. That I feel kind of comfortable that I can finish the campaign within the next few months, and then we could just focus on doing the comic.
Because it's one of those things where tabletop games and comics are different storytelling mediums. Like with tabletop games, you can't really explore the other characters that aren't the players. Like the players kind of have to be there.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise it gets awkward. But like, so with a comic, we're able to like really, flesh things out more that you can't really do in a tabletop game where everyone's like waiting for their turn to do something.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to like hear the behind the scenes about like what makes the story different than the campaign, like being like, okay, well, we had to change this because of that, or like we had to go in this direction, or blah blah blah, or in the actual campaign. I think that would be very interesting for people to hear.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things where it's like when you're doing a D&D campaign, you need to kind of morph the story in a way that everyone's always together for some reason, like because you typically don't want like to split the party, where you have one half of the cast over here, one half of the cast over there. Well, in a comic you can do that and it's fine because you can just cut around, and that's considered normal. So like the fact that we don't have that restraint where everyone needs to be in the same room together all the time means that you can really do a lot more stuff and just sort of flesh out a lot more in that way. I guess that'd be like the biggest thing that's been different between the tabletop and this project.
I will also say that when you're doing a tabletop game, a lot of stuff is ad-libbed, right? You're not really going by a script, so a lot of the actions that the characters are taking, like even in the first 3 chapters, the decision to give Bryce a DeLorean was something we just kind of laughed about, but we were just like, yeah, you know what, that would make sense because he's just kind of from this small town. He it's just funnier that if he never watched Back to the Future and he just thought that that was a car that just got him a lot of like pussy in college and all that kind of stuff like that. You know, like those small little character quirks that you're not really able to do within a tabletop setting, you can kind of go back and refine when you're doing a comic, right? It makes a lot of the character writing more interesting if you take what already exists and then you build on it, right?
Yeah. And I think like if you are like interested in writing, I think DMing and or just playing in D&D campaigns can be a real good way to sort of hone your skills as a writer, because like when you're constantly in stories where things are not 100% up to you and you have to find ways to like cobble together to make it make sense, it's like you're kind of writing on hard mode in a way. So when you're actually in a story where you have control over everything, it's like taking the weighted training gear off. You know, you're like, okay, this is a lot easier now.
For sure.
No, that's an interesting way to look at it. So, has the comic actually started when does the actual have we got into the campaign? Because now that I think about it, when I read the comic, I'm like thinking like, wait, if you're saying that like in the campaign, these 5 people always have to be together, we haven't gotten into that yet, have we? In the comic, because like we're kind of following individuals at this point.
So the first 3 chapters are pretty close to what happened in session 0 or session 1. Get it, like the 2 main characters. So like the thing is with me, people DM in different ways. I am much more of like, I like to build narratives. So I try to make it as cinematic as I can within the confines of doing a D&D campaign. So having people split off, that was just kind of my way of telling the story for the first few sessions to set this tone. So that was a lot more acceptable because we're starting it out. Nobody's really sure of what each other's characters are all about. So once we kind of pass that first hurdle of, this girl dies and we have to figure out why, then it's easier to get them to kind of work together. You know what I mean? Like in the story, it's a little easier to do that, but in the campaign it was a little tough until you get to around session 5 and then you're kind of meeting your rhythm. So interestingly enough, Spoe was not part of the campaign until like session 4, because we had a player who was had scheduling conflicts, and because of that I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do it regularly. So I said, hey, it would be good to have this buffer character, not a buffer character, that sounds insulting, but this extra character who serves as like, okay, if one person is not here, at least 4 players are experiencing the story. Right? So Spoe was brought in, and, like I've been playing D&D with Spoe for a while. I always love his characters. So I was really just, what is he going to make? And then he made like this little Astro Boy, like TV headed robot. I'm like, hell yeah, man, this is exactly what we need. We need our little mascot character.
Exactly.
So
we need our Chopper. We need our Con.
Wait, is that what your
Turbo Granny?
Is that what your profile picture's been this whole time?
Yes.
Yeah, that was drawn by one of Django's friends who drew the character because he liked them a lot.
Oh, wow.
I really liked it.
I thought it was like a crop panel from like a manga or something.
His art is really good. I'll definitely I'll definitely plug him if I ever get the chance.
You could do it now, dude. Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah. Steezy Art on Instagram. Let me just put the @ in, like the chat here. Really talented guy, really fun. He's always just been a really chill guy. He actually helped me put a lot of the volumes together for MomoCon. Like he did a lot of helping me like staple everything together and trimming off the edges and all that. But yeah, real sweet guy, super cool. Check him out. Let me just put the link to his Instagram here.
For the viewers, and I guess for Spoe, because I haven't explained it to him either, but like a lot of people probably have noticed I've not been putting links in the description for the video. and mostly because like I heard something about links kind of like lowering the view count for YouTube videos.
Really, I feel like I've seen people put links in their
Well,
description.
here's what I noticed. It's like they'll put links if their channel's like already doing numbers, or if they like could like because I heard like, and I think because I know this might be it's a Twitter thing, but it's also I think on everything now. Like they don't like it when you post links to other websites because they want you to stay on this website. I mean, I'm gonna go back and like add like I'm gonna do a copy and paste link thing that I can just put on every description once you get to a certain point. But like I mean, like I'll put their stuff here on like the screen and whatnot, and like Jen, your ad will be on the screen too, so.
Yeah.
You don't gotta.
I mean, we do have that Diesel Train website QR code. I could probably incorporate that into the thumbnail when I draw it.
Hell yeah!
Damn put your fucking QR code on the screen. All right, you fucking shill piece of shit. Fuck you.
I'm gonna push my code right against the glass.
Yeah,
man. Don't you worry about it.
That's crazy, dude.
You sick fuck, dude. Fuck you.
Dude, dude, you gotta get a QR code, dude. That's the modern meta.
It's the modern meta. It really is. Like,
yeah, everyone their fucking
really
QR
fun.
code. I
know.
That's what we gotta do. I know.
Yeah, I gotta tell you though, it was fun like doing the design for the QR code, and like I didn't do the design for the business cards. Like that was Crete. Crete did, a lot of the design for the business cards, and he did so well with making it look like a train ticket.
Neato.
And yeah, we were just kind of giving it out, and I think it was I don't know exactly whether or not a pizza fan appreciated me just saying, "Hey, can I go up on stage and show off the QR code on the back of my shirt?" But that was kind of the highlight for me of just being like, "Hey, can I show my webcomic in front of this auditorium of like 200 people?"
To be fair, we did talk to him beforehand, like the day before, and gave him like a volume, and we're like, "Hey, are you gonna have a panel or something?" We didn't just show up.
No, we didn't do that.
Get ready for him to not read that, by the way.
For sure.
Listen, he doesn't have to read it. We'll see.
I don't need him to read it. He hasn't read my comics that I've given him or that he's bought from me. I know that for a fact.
Well,
epic.
Well, what can you do? He's just a busy guy.
He's a busy guy, and hey, it doesn't matter because I got a few people in the auditorium to read it. So
that's
that
cool.
was the reason why I went up there in the first place.
That's cool. All right, yeah, that's good. There's another thing I was gonna ask. All right, yeah, Diesel Train, 1999. What if you guys go past the month? What if it's like? What if months pass and it's still 1999? Unless that's the twist that they're stuck in 1999.
Well, it starts in January and ends in December. It is a Y2K murder mystery in the sense of the fear of the big year 2000 is a big plot point. So, think Persona 4. Yeah. That was also a big inspiration where it's just like it takes place over the course of a single year. And the characters are just trying to figure out the mystery and what's going on, and there's plenty of time to explore the characters and kind of wrap the story up before 1999 is over. Plus, first few chapters take place in January.
Yeah, similar to me showing him like Twin Peaks to show all the sort of Twin Peaks-isms that were in this story. After playing a lot of Persona 4, I definitely see a lot of the DNA of that into the story he's trying to do here, which is it's always good to have that sort of expansion of the media diet.
It's
It's also funny that the first time I ever interacted with you, Cheesy Man, was doing the Diesel redraw.
That's true. You were part of that.
You will notice that Diesel Train. Originally, Diesel Train 1999 was supposed to be a JoJo campaign. Part
Oh.
4 was also a big inspiration for me. It was supposed to be, a play on, hey, remember that one comic? It was just Diesel. It took place in America as a stance. I was originally going to have it that was the joke, where it's an American JoJo part, like it takes place in America. It's like I was just going to do stands, but I I don't know exactly what changed. I think it was the murder mystery and kind of wanting to not just make it part 4, where I tried to make it as uniquely me as I could make it. I feel like I'm a guy who tries to do a lot of things in a unique way that I would want to see it. I usually don't really like to just kind of do things that other people do. I try to put my own spin on a lot of the stuff that I make. I mean that doesn't really narrow it down. Everybody wants to do that, but in a sense of, I really wanted it to be as uniquely itself as I could possibly make it.
No, I feel that.
You look at it, you can't really pin it down to, oh, this is just Twin Peaks, or oh, this is just Persona 4. This isn't like any other murder mystery that has been written. Diesel Train 1999 is purely itself, and that's what I've wanted it to be ever since the start. And I feel like as long as we keep that energy up, eventually people are going to find it and they're going to be like, wow, this is actually really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, this is why you gotta show up on other podcasts and whatnot. And I was also going to mention that Creed was also a part of that Diesel redraw project too.
He was, yes.
Yeah. All you guys were actually. Now that I remember.
Yeah, because I recommended both of them to you because I was like, hey, here's two people who are interested in your Diesel project and they do good stuff.
I thought Jin was in before you were, Spo. I thought you were like, I
think it was me first, and then I recommended them because I think you said you were looking for others.
Who knows? It was a long time ago.
What we're trying to say is Diesel Train is partially your fault, Cheesy.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
yeah,
it is partially your fault. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, just put me in the credits. Put special thanks to Cheesymanfredo. No, I mean
we'll put a hidden Cheesy in the next chapter.
Yeah, I'd support all comic projects. I'm fine. I've been tempted to try to do another redraw of a comic. I had this one because I was reading a bunch of Avengers comics, and there's these two comics about Doctor Doom fighting Magneto, but it's not when I say Magneto, a lot the people's first thought of Magneto is what he currently is now, where he's kind of like an anti-hero, where it's well, Magneto is right on a lot of things. Magneto will majority help the X-Men kind of thing. But before that,
mutant Malcolm X, yeah.
Yeah, that was that's the big angle with Magneto now. But before that, years ago, Magneto was just a straight up supervillain, and he was twiddling his fingers and plotting to take over the world. He was a true blue supervillain. And during that era, there's this issue of the Avengers where literally this is how the comic starts. Magneto goes to Latveria. He just breaks through the border, and all the people in Latveria are celebrating. And he's like, what's going on? Why is everyone celebrating? And people are like, oh, you didn't hear? He's like, no, I didn't hear. Actually, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go to Dr. Doom's castle. And he goes to Dr. Doom's castle, and he's like, Doom, I have a plan to take over the world, and I need your help. And Dr. Doom is just chilling. He's all like, oh, I already took over the world. And Magneto's like, what? Oh, yeah, actually, I just took over the world right now. Everyone's under my control right now. And Magneto's like, you're bullshitting me. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he orders Magneto to just kill himself. And Magneto starts his body moving by himself. And he's controlling swords to go through himself. What the fuck? Why is my body doing that? And then Dr. Doom tells him to stop. And he explains that months ago he actually had these satellites in space drop some fucking evil dust all over Earth, and it's been slowly getting in everyone's lungs, and now everyone is just under his control now. They don't even know it, right? So Dr. Doom could just order people, and Dr. Doom is bored now because he's won, right? And so what he does is that he removes the fucking dust out of Magneto, and he tells you know what, Magneto, to make my life more exciting, I'm gonna let you be on my control, and you have to find a way to stop me now to kind of make this exciting. And he's like, ah, shit. So he his first thing is like, well, I need some superheroes to help me out. So he tries to go to the Avengers first because he can't go to the X-Men. We all know why. And so when he goes to the Avengers first, Doctor Doom knew that was the first thing he was gonna do, and it becomes this thing where like Doctor Doom lets him take one, like he lets him take one Avenger to be on his side, and he takes Beast because he thinks that if I get Beast, I could get Beast to convince the X-Men to help me. But then when he mind controls Beast, Beast is like, oh, the X-Men aren't on Earth, they're like in space right now, and he's like, fuck. So he's like screwed out of that idea, and then there's this other group called the Defenders, and it becomes this thing where like Doctor Doom is like just making himself president of the world. He's at the White House, and when Magneto shows up with the Defenders, Doctor Doom calls his bodyguard, and his bodyguard is the fucking Hulk, who's also mind controlled. So they're all fighting there in front of the White House, you know. And it's really gnarly. It's like a early 70s issue, and it's like two different comics, and I thought it'd be interesting as a redraw project because like, this one's longer than Diesel, and I get way more artists in on this, but I just haven't had the time to organize it. You know,
understandable.
You gotta get up on it quickly. It can synergize with the Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, that's true, huh?
You have to.
Wait, when is it?
Get that publicity.
When is that bullshit coming out?
December.
And we are
I just love that is like green screen the movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, like a majority of the actors did not even talk to each other during the production of that film. It was just all green screens.
That's really fucking cool. And it's gonna make
awesome.
Gonna make $1 doomzillion dollars in the theaters.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
If they don't, they're gonna take the Russo brothers and shoot him in his face.
Absolutely.
If it fails,
now, I gotta say, I am not trying to date this episode, but I did watch Masters of the Universe recently. And,
you could date this episode. It's fine. I don't care.
I'm being a silly Billy. But yeah, I did watch He-Man. I have no context about anything He-Man. I never watched it or consumed any of it growing up, so it was just like, so that's what all this is about. But Jared Leto does a really good Skeletor, it just kind of is just like, they just got an evil person to play an evil character. It just makes sense. You know, of course he would do a great job. Yeah.
Jared Leto is just talking. They're like, "That's a great Skeletor voice." Like, I haven't done a voice yet. What do you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just really funny because all this talk about movies and all that just reminds me of the time that Morbius came out, and Sony saw all the memes that people were making. It's just like, people want Morbius again. They want it again. That like they're making memes because it's good. So they were chasing that more $1 billion, and they released it in theaters again, and then it made less than the first time.
That's so.
I think I just remember there's like one tweet where it's just like, no, bring it back a third time. We were just really sleepy that day.
We all had work that day, but you bring it back.
One more time, please.
We'll see it this time. That's like on the long list of like things that you can't like recreate anymore with a movie going experience, like bringing back Morbius and like Barbenheimer, and they've been trying to bring back Barbenheimer. They've been like forcing that on everything now.
They want that. That was like the last time people wanted to go to the movie theater. It's like, how do we do that again? We just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't get that you can't. If you have to force it, then it's not going to work.
That's true. It has to happen by like accident, like the Minecraft movie, and fucking chicken jockey bullshit.
Dude. Exactly. It's like they also did the Morbius thing. They tried to bring it back. It's like we're in on the joke this time, guys. And I think they also wanted to try to cross $1 billion. So like, this is our way to try to get it over the edge.
I think that shit only happens when a movie sucks. I remember people were scared that was gonna happen with like Digital Circus or something, and I'm like, I mean, it only happens if it sucks. If it sucks balls.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like. The reason it's such a short window because it's like it's going to be on YouTube for free. And once it's on YouTube for free, no one's going to go to the theater and see it.
Yeah, true, exactly.
Unless they like really want that theater experience, but I don't really see that much anymore. Not enough to make a movie successful, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but That is interesting because I know that Masters of the Universe movie. I've heard that it did really well in Brazil specifically. I guess it's I figure it's just really popular over there or something.
I think it did.
In where?
I thought it did okay. What?
In Brazil.
In Brazil.
In Brazil.
Well, that's what I mean. Like in America, it did okay, but in Brazil, it was like where it really had a big turnout.
Well,
actually,
Brazil is very weird in the sense of they're the only people who give a shit about Woody Woodpecker.
That's what I mean.
So it does not surprise me because, like, here's the thing. I remember that growing up, like Adventure Time came out when I was living in Brazil at the time because I lived there from 2010 till 2017, and I ended up kind of experiencing Adventure Time out of sync because it came out like in America 3 years before it started airing in Brazil. Like, what was it, like 2010 when Adventure Time started airing?
Yeah, I think I was like in middle school when it started, I think.
Yeah, we got it in Brazil like in 2012. So
neat.
I just remember like watching the first few episodes of Adventure Time, and then I went to go visit my cousins in Florida a few years later, and that was like around the time that Adventure Time had plot to it. Like it started developing narrative. So I was just like completely confused because I was just like, no, wait, what do you mean that like there's lore? I thought it was just like stupid bullshit. I thought that was the gimmick.
Yeah, that was.
Is that nothing makes sense? It's just like fucking mathematical slam it cow bullshit. Like that's all I thought it was. But yeah, no, it it's just funny how out of sync some things are. So I think maybe a similar situation happened where
if I had to,
He-Man just happened at a time where it wasn't really popular in America, but in Brazil it's like,
if I had to guess, it's probably they might have like had reruns of He-Man in Brazil like way longer after it stopped in America. I know that. Yeah. I think there's a meme. I can't remember if this specifically a Brazilian meme. I know it's actually, I don't think it might be Brazilian because I think the meme was in Spanish, but they would do a lot of like gay edits of He-Man.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they would. There was like a specific word they would use, like their version of like the F slur or whatnot to call He-Man, and he would have it'd be kind of like not exactly like a Dragon Ball Z abridged, but it'd be like He-Man, and he's just doing the most gayest shit. They would just use clips from the episode, and it's funny how many people would look at He-Man and think like, yeah, this is gay. This got a gay vibe to
it. It's probably because like Brazil is, well, I can't really speak on it too much because maybe I don't know the small intricacies of that kind of zeitgeist. I only experienced it for about 7 years, but I do know that Brazil is very Roman Catholic in comparison to the US. Yep. So a lot of shit where you just got a bunch of guys with their muscles hanging out, there's a lot more of an incentive to just say, hey, that guy's just kind of gay, like it's very gay,
it's just like that's just kind of a corner of like a lot of 2000s humor though too, right? It's like either this is gay or what if X smoked weed? Like that, those were the two pillars of humor for like a good decade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one is gay or smokes weed anymore. That's just like the default of a lot of things.
Pride Month's over.
Yeah,
pack it up, Skittles
Squad. Pack it up. Yeah, it's over.
Better luck next time.
Everyone is straight again. I'm flipping the switch. Go back to everyone
sucking up the rainbow with my big vacuum cleaner.
It's over.
It's not happening.
Go back. No more gay ships. No more yaoi. No more yuri. None of that bullshit. Everyone ship only hetero slop.
Only head slop.
Only head slop. All right.
Yeah, only head slop. No more this gay shit.
That's all that's allowed.
Where was it? I think I was saying something. I forgot.
Talk about He-Man being successful in Brazil.
Yeah, He-Man. I'll watch it eventually. Maybe when it gets on streaming. That's been my energy.
Yeah.
I was gonna tweet this out, but I guess I'll just mention this here. But I was thinking it's kind of people were talking about how these 3 movies came out last month. It was a Digital Circus, Obsession, and The Back Rooms, and people were talking about how weirdly each one of those movies kind of has there's been like almost like a Twilight Zone episode with the same premise of all those 3 movies, where
well, yeah, I mean, Twilight Zone is kind of one of those
yeah,
foundational pieces of like American like
fiction,
art in
yeah.
a way, right? Where it's like everything is like there's so much stuff that has referenced it so much that's become a part of like the cultural zeitgeist, like without even realizing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100% like true. And yeah, because I remember people were framing it as like, oh, Obsession or Backrooms or whatever were like ripping off the Twilight Zone. It's like no, but they're not ripping it off. It just goes to show how influential Twilight Zone is. That like it shows up in subtle.
Yeah,
It to me, it's very interesting. Like
like
yeah, yeah,
because like it's one of those things where a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, it's like that Simpsons bit," but that Simpsons bit is just a Twilight Zone bit that the
yeah.
Simpsons made fun of. But since people's frame of reference is the Simpsons, they just think it's a Simpsons bit, you know?
It's also interesting how the zeitgeist culturally moves because in that Twilight Zone episode, the it's a similar concept to like the back rooms. But what's interesting is that and this is something that like you don't really notice if you grew up with our generation, but the back rooms functions like a video game. Like it's video game logic.
Yeah.
Right? So like the
I mean, it's about clipping and stuff
yeah,
into another
but
place.
Yeah.
you couldn't use the word clipping in the 60s. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I guess
Yeah.
like give me a refresher because I have not consumed that much of the Twilight Zone. Which
Oh.
Twilight Zone episodes are you guys
I think it's called
referencing?
Little Girl Lost. It basically starts with like this family. They wake up in the middle of the night because they're like they keep hearing their daughter like crying out and they think that she's in her room but she's not there and she's like, wait, where the fuck is she, right? And they're looking for her but they could hear her in the house but they can't like find her. And then I think they let the dog like loose in the house to sniff her out and the dog literally just goes right through the wall and they're like, oh shit, right? Like something's going on. Luckily, the dad is friends with a physicist, so they call him over, and they figure out. I mean, it literally is like the one Simpsons parody of the Treehouse of Horror, Little Girl Lost. I think that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's essentially like and there's another Twilight Zone thing called No Exit, which is just like a bunch of stage actors are trapped in like the backstage of a play or whatever,
Yeah.
and they can't find a way
What's
out.
interesting about Little Girl Lost is that at the towards like the climax of the episode, the dad does go in through the door, and the way they present this like alternate like dimension, like that they're using like a fisheye lens, everything is like weird. It's like, oh, this is like a different like dimension. It physically like we can't perceive it correctly. You know, it's like it's off because we're not supposed to be here. And something like in the back rooms, it's like you could breathe in the back rooms. There's like air. You could see things.
Yeah.
Things like it just looks like a giant like massive like office space kind of thing, you know. And that's not that weird to people who grew up on video games because they think like, well, this is just like a thing where they defaulted copied the same like room over and over again in some sort of video game, right? So it's like and that kind of goes back into like the prevalence of like computers in everyday life where like the idea
Yeah.
that we might be
I,
in a fucking simulation and like this the back rooms could be the
I
evidence of
think a
that.
lot of I think a lot of the backroom stuff like comes from the fact that a certain generation, especially like younger millennial or Gen Z or whatever, just sort of grew up around dead malls a lot,
Oh yeah, that's
like just
another
sort of
thing too.
places that aren't really that were clearly big social gathering spots in third places that just don't exist anymore, but they're still technically standing, so they're just sort of dead, and that sort of adds into that. And I'm sure the Twilight Zone had an influence too, like it does with any piece of horror that's come out
Uh-huh.
in this century.
And what's
Okay. Can I give my Backrooms hot take real quick?
yeah, I haven't,
Okay.
you know what, I haven't seen the movie, but like I mean,
I'm not gonna spoil the movie
all right,
for you,
I appreciate it.
but
Thank you. Go ahead.
like if you've watched the Kane Pixels YouTube series, you know what I'm gonna say because like there's just uh like me personally, the Backrooms movie wasn't really what I thought it was gonna be, and not in a bad way because it's a good movie. It's just I wanted more like explanation behind what it was. They kind of gave it to us, but it was kind of like drip feeding. But regardless, a lot of people seem to think that the Backrooms is just this kind of ooh, it's a scary empty place and you just wander through it and then you die and that's the scary part. And they're like vehemently like firm on that, where it's just like, no, putting in monsters takes away from from the thing. Is you just have to walk through it and then you die and you dehydrate, you turn to a raisin because you have no water. But in the original green text, it talks about how if you hear something, then you should be afraid because it's heard you. It says it right there. There are monsters in the original green text. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, especially if you're making a movie about it, you kind of have to have some other kind of conflict. So having a creature in there, especially the way they do it, which is an interesting, that's like a warped version of yourself, is even more interesting than the little like weird wireframe creature that are in the Kane Pixel shorts.
And I think I'll say this because like I very much anything could be written well. Anything could be like, so like I can imagine a very like interesting version of the Backrooms where there's no monster, but I could also imagine a very interesting one where there is a monster. You know, I think everything is possible with the power of writing, ultimately.
Absolutely.
You know?
And
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, it's like, I think that, I'm not going to say that some of the elements about Diesel Train are sort of similar to the Backrooms, because I originally, the Backrooms was like a concept when I wrote it, but I originally wanted it to be something else. In comparison to what they explained it as in the movie, the nowhere is what a majority of the supernatural stuff is taking place in. It's sort of like, a collective unconsciousness type thing where it is where thoughts go after they leave your head, right? That is what the nowhere is, and it's this alternate dimension where the characters are going into to solve this mystery, similar to like the Shadow Worlds from Persona 4, but they use the nowhere train to get there, hence Diesel Train is the main title. But I think
like a train of thought. Okay, all right. I think okay.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Oh my god!
Okay. Exactly.
Well,
I love that movie when I was a kid.
Well, will Mr. Electricidad show up?
Electricidad.
I hope so.
What's the name of the actor again?
George Lopez.
Like, who does that? Yeah, we gotta get George Lopez to do Kane.
Look, you could.
Yeah, what's his cameo? All right.
Look, I don't know if you guys know this, but
we need to get him to cameo. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I am the son of George Lopez. He is my father.
I do not believe you.
Wow.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, okay, back in middle school, like my nickname was George Lopez. People would call me that because they said because I have like a square head like he does, and like my nose shape, and it's just kind of like, I mean, I've heard that. I've heard someone say I look like a brown Craig McCracken. I've done all sorts of suggestions.
No fucking way, man.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
That's awesome.
The thing is, I have no time to look for the picture where I look like him, but
that's crazy.
But I'll do it. I'll be Mr. Electricidad. It's fine. I could do it.
That's awesome.
But no, that's like neat. I think though, I'll say this. I think when it comes to like to me, it's really tough pitching stuff to people, because like you want them to like fucking like get it, like okay, because for example, I haven't played fucking Persona, and I haven't I'm not one of these Persona larpers out here who just watches gameplay either, so I have no idea what the fuck happens in Persona. A bunch of kooky things apparently do, but so it's just like it's like tough, and I mean that's where like log lines come in, but like even like a log line. For a logline is perfect for someone who kind of already knows how things should be pitched, right? For like a normal person, it's kind of tough because it's like, I mean, like, it's easier to pitch things to like when people like now we could pitch like Spider-Man well because everyone fucking knows who Spider-Man is. It's not that tough, right? I think ultimately it just also depends what kind of fucking audience you're going for. Some people are really fucking lucky in that like the right audience finds it like right away. You know, I don't know if like if you, I feel like it's been done before, but there's been other people who have just turned their campaign into comics, I assume, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's like, you know, there's Critical Role and all of that, and like the McElroy brothers had a campaign that they turned into a comic. Like, those have all been like D&D stuff though, so it's all like kind of fantasy stuff,
right? And
and I mean, there's also the anime Record of the Lodoss War, which is like a '90s anime, which is based off a D&D campaign.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's definitely something. Yeah, no, there's definitely been a lot of those that have been like that. I even think
Dirty Pair was a D&D campaign.
Oh, it was
originally.
Dirty Pair was.
Dirty Pair was. Yeah, it was originally like a D&D campaign that the author was a part of. He just liked his characters. Like, I should make it into like a thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing, because like that is definitely a great thing about like tabletop games, is it kind of makes it's a good reason to make OCs, and sometimes you make them like, oh, I really like this one, I should actually do something with them.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. I think yeah, and I don't remember, the website doesn't mention anything about it being based on a campaign, right? A tabletop campaign, right?
I guess we just never really saw it as like a big selling point.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
That's I guess I'm thinking of like angles, I guess, of like that you guys, because like I want you guys to be successful. You know, I want you guys.
Oh, me too, man.
Yeah, and
we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know. So I'm thinking like I don't think I don't know. I guess like to me though, you might say I'm a little fucking strict on this, but I feel like everything I ever liked usually makes me like it right away. And that, because I know people have rules about like, oh, you should watch something like 2 episodes in, or what you hear the rules like 2 episodes in, or like I'm to me, I feel like anything that's really good is usually good like right away at the start, like whatever like angle it's hitting, you know. Or I mean, some people have the benefit of like when you get invested into something, there's like a large body of work already that you can just kind of like dive into, you know. But then I guess it's not always true, because some people just jump into part 3 of JoJo and they don't really care about the previous parts, you know. So it's tricky. I think it's like different for like everyone. I think though you could sell JoJo part 3 by itself, because you don't really like. Yeah, like
it's one of those things where when it comes to this, we're definitely in that sort of setup for some of the stuff phase where you don't want to introduce too much things at once, because that just sort of confuses people. So we're definitely trying to keep it like, okay, we'll have one chapter to introduce each of the 4 main characters, and then I will have like the first chapter, which is to introduce the sort of way they maneuver the sort of other world that they're going to. And that's sort of what we're trying to do. Like, I guess it's like the idea would be that this is almost like the volume 1, where it's like it starts off with this and you read it all, and at the end of it you'll be hooked for the volume 2.
You guys are planning to make physical? You guys are planning to make physical copies, right?
Well, we're talking about like hypothetically, like the first, like, because usually like when you're reading like a manga volume or whatever, it'll be like a decent enough story that sort of leaves just a bit for you to like think, okay, what happens next? But it's still something that like kind of has a narrative all the way through.
Yeah, and I will say, and I guess like just to kind of ask you about it a bit, given what you've just said, what are your thoughts on Diesel Train as a whole? Like, what were your opinions just reading through it? I know you said that you didn't find it very complete in what it was trying to deliver. You felt like it was like a big prologue setup, but was there anything else?
I think I was trying to like it was a lot of like I guess I didn't feel hooked, and which I don't really like saying that, like especially like when I'm like, look, I want people to check out this comic, because people I'm not that fucking like I'm not that fucking naive that I think I'm some sort of arbiter of taste or something, you know, because like the comic could just not be for me, you know. I'm open, like not open, but I know like there's so many things that aren't for me that other people fucking love and that are super popular, you know. So, and I want, if you get more eyes on it, it's gonna find like the right crowd kind of thing. I think with me is that like when something is like, so when something's like a series or something, I think it's very important to like focus to figure out what is the exact kind of vibe, like what everything kind of hinges on, you know. And I don't know where like Diesel Train is going, because I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm thinking like, okay, if like for example, if the real kind of meat isn't exactly the mystery, but like maybe the dynamics between the characters, you want to like establish that dynamic like right away, like to really show like, all right, this is kind of like this is like how the characters interact with each other, this is like the meat like right here, you know. Or because yeah, because I think the part of I don't know, I think maybe I kind of want to see them like, cause when I open the website, I see like these groups of people like chasing like this pig guy with a knife, and and I'm like, oh, that's neat, this looks interesting, right, you know. But I think it takes a minute before I see this group of people interact with each other, you know. So I would,
yeah.
I think like I think I want to see the dynamic. That's what like I'm interested in, because I feel like that's where the strongest like bits are, you know. You really wanna start off strong, you know. And that's why like I'm not like, I don't want to be harsh, because I think you guys are.
Please be. I'd rather you be honest, because this is kind of like something that I've learned, and it's just like I'm never gonna be better if people just are saying, "Oh, it looks good." Like I want you to tear me apart. I want you to give me critique. So, like, please don't hold back. I can take it,
because I think like, okay, I have no problem with like the prologue. I don't have no problem with like seeing how the characters like met, but I think if we're what is happening in the majority of the story, I want to like see that like right away. And I'm not talking about like story, I'm not talking about like oh, just explain the mystery, like that's not what I'm fucking saying. I'm saying that like if everything is about this group of people interacting with each other, I want to see their dynamic like right away. And you don't have to like show everyone's dynamic. You just show like okay, this is kind of like how they work as like a group, or this is kind of how people interact. And then when you want to like kind of show more context, like you could have like a chapter start with, oh, this is how these characters met, because then that leads into like these characters interacting with each other here, you know. It's almost like I'm not saying like Berserk. Have you guys read Berserk, the manga?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah.
So like, I'm not saying Berserk did this perfectly, but I'm saying there's something very interesting where at the start of Berserk, we learn that Guts really hates Griffin, right? Like they have history with each other, and he really fucking he hates his guts, right? Like he really doesn't like him, right? Haha. Yeah, he really doesn't like him, and then that cuts into the flashback, and then once he of Guts, and then he meets Griffin, and we know in the back of our mind, oh, they're gonna end up hating each other, and that knowing that is like an underlying feeling throughout the whole entirety of them being friends, of where this is going, you know, right? And but I think it's very crucial to maybe that wasn't the best example. Okay, so do you know in Venture Bros? Have you seen Venture Bros? In Venture Bros,
yeah, I love the Venture Bros.
Yeah, Venture Bros is great.
Yeah.
And it has a story, but the real heart of Venture Bros is the fact that it's just two guys talking to each other. That there's this dynamic, and that description applies to all the characters, because it's always just two people talking to each other. They always like have a dynamic, you know, and we see that get like rearranged. Like that's the actual show. And that never, throughout the whole series, that never changes. The status quo is constantly changing in Venture Bros, like every season. But the meat of characters, of the character dynamics throughout the shows, and how like they change, or how like that, you know, they change, or how characters are mixed up and paired up differently, and new characters are introduced, and that creates new like ways characters are like talking to each other. That stays consistent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So because like, yeah, and yeah, and I think this isn't like I guess because I'm explaining like how I would approach the story to get like kind of me invested. You know, it's like, oh,
Sure.
if this is an ensemble, if this story is about an ensemble, show me the ensemble first. Show me like how do their dynamics work. You don't have to show everybody, but just show me like what at the core of these people who are like what's going on. And then throughout the course of the story, you could do like little flashbacks of like how they met up, what led to what, you know. But that's like, I mean, I'm fine with the opening of showing like something happened like long time, like what was in the 70s, it says here. Like that's fine, because that's showing all right, this is something happened. Something happened here, something kind of like weird and out there. So I know that like things are gonna get weirder, things are gonna get more out there, you know, right? But I think yeah, so yeah, and this is like also, I guess I'm projecting a little bit, because I'm also reapproaching like, because I've mentioned it before, and I mentioned it before on the podcast, that I am in the process of like rebooting my old comic Villainverse. And I had a similar thing where I had a prologue and then a chapter one, but like over the course of years, I've kind of like not liked the prologue, because I think it doesn't like, I'm hearing a lot of people's criticism about like the comic. They say things that I didn't like really want people to like. I'd like they'll mention something and I'll be like, well, that wasn't what I was trying to do, and it makes me think like, well, what can I do to make people think like how the way I want them to think about the story, you know? So I kind of shafted the prologue. Well, I reinverted the prologue into like, there's no prologue now there's just a chapter one, and the prologue has been like kind of like patchworked into it. Like I know it sounds kind of rough, but like it's been reformatted that it worked with the chapter one, and you only like get the bits of information when it's crucial to that point of that story, because there's like a certain vibe I want to hit with the story, and I want you to get that vibe first and foremost. I want you to like really like feel that, like that's the first thing you feel, you know, to know like, oh, here's what this whole story is supposed to feel like, you know. And I did that. I felt like I did that pretty good in chapter one, and that prologue was just kind of like a required like read, almost like a tutorial, I guess, right? But I've kind of shafted the prologue, and I rearranged it. Well, like I said, you know, but that's also like the way I like, you know, like kind of a story. Like I don't really want, like I want characters. I want like you know, to understand who are the people we're following like first, before like how like who like, because you get I mean, characters interacting with each other is also a way of showing what type of character they are, you know, right? Like to get like the vibe, or the way they talk to each other, to understand there's like history, you know. Right, like even like, I'm not to say I think also something like I think I mentioned it before, but I think also even like the pilot for the Digital Circus kind of had that problem where like I felt like Pomni was too quarantined in that first episode, and I would want to see her more interact with like the group, because should be more of an ensemble, you know. I mean, knowing where the story is heading, I understand why they did what they did, but I would have still wanted like, oh, there's a new character, they should be able to meet everybody else so we understand what the dynamics of this circus like function like, you know. Yeah.
I think I see where you're coming from with it, and I think it's something we can definitely keep in mind as we're kind of moving forward here. Because I do think the strength of this is sort of in the characters, since the idea is that, you know, it's sort of like that Twin Peaks or that Gravity Falls thing, where it's about the town and the people who are in it and what they're all about, and like and when something comes in to like kind of disrupt that, like
Oh, and
how does that reaction to everyone there.
You know,
and
Gravity Falls is a good example because like at the core it's Dipper and Mabel. That's like our core. Those are like our main characters, and they enter into a new world together. And they're like their reactions to this new world tells us a lot about their characters, you know, and like the relationships and what do they prioritize, you know. So like,
and that's sort of what we've been trying to do with our protagonists, where we have two people who are just coming in on the train, not familiar with this world, and the chapters have been sort of them
like
kind of informing us who they are, but also like them obviously being in a town that's like kind of odd to them.
Yes.
Where like being the sort of fish out of water, and then like the next two are about like characters who have lived there for a while, so they're a bit more odd. Then when they kind of come together in their sort of ensemble, we kind of get that sort of interaction.
You know, Twin Peaks also a good thing as good example of like there's already a town with characters that know each other, so those dynamics are shown. And then we have the FBI agent played by, I forget, it's Agent Cooper, right? Yeah, Agent Cooper coming in, and the way he's interacting with people is like showing us like new angles of them, you know, and what things are to come of like of the way things play out in the show, you know. And that's all to me. Like the thing is, like I could totally see someone in the comments being like, "Oh, Cheesy's wrong. I actually really enjoyed this comic." Like I can see, I'm like, "No, that's great," but I'm just saying, like with me personally, what needs to happen to kind of grab me? I don't want. I think both of you guys are creative. I think both of you guys are creative people, and the people you work with are creative people too, and you have certain like ideas that you guys want to play into. And you know, I trust whatever you guys want to do because this is your own piece, you know, right? So but
if I could,
go ahead, defend yourself.
I do want to.
No,
well,
it's fine.
It kind of like comes down to, and I'll give an example. I for the longest time, I didn't watch Hunter x Hunter because I thought that the first like 20 episodes was really, really boring.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't really like where it was going,
Mm-hmm.
right? As soon as I got past that first hurdle, it became my favorite show of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't not say that Hunter x Hunter inspired. Like it was really funny because I have this really weird thing where I tend to just write the things that end up being in the shows that I have not seen yet, right? Because I remember like doing my first comic, like my first webcomic, Orchard's Journey, and you know, a lot of people were asking me, "It's like this sounds a lot like Hunter," and it's like I've never watched Hunter. Like, really? You haven't? And then I ended up watching. It's like, oh, dude, that's the thing that I wanted to do. What the fuck? You know, like so. What I'm trying to say is that, you know, for me, a lot of the things that I ended up really enjoying were slow burns for me to like. A lot of the stories that I ended up really sort of keeping close to my heart, like a good example is Akira. Like reading Akira, the manga, was completely different from watching the movie. And honestly, like the first volume of Akira, I thought was kind of boring. Like I didn't really like a lot of it. It was just a lot of talk, and you know, there was only a little bit of like all the cool psychic stuff. But then like it started to pick up, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like this is absolutely incredible. I don't know why I even doubted that it would be good. So when it comes to me specifically, it's not necessarily gatekeeping. It's more so you will be rewarded for persevering. And maybe that's not a healthy way to look at storytelling, but in my case, it kind of comes down to I'm writing this for myself more so than I'm writing it with an audience in mind, and I just kind of trust that by me throwing this out there, people who like that, like what I write, are just going to find it. And I do get what you're saying, like the concept of keeping the character dynamics in mind and all that, and building up to that and telling the audience what to expect. However, I do want to also build up to those interactions by setting up a bunch of different people who are from all over the place, ending up in this big mystery that ends up becoming so much more than what you thought it was going to be at the start. I want people to look back on the first few issues of Diesel Train once we really get this going, and I want them to say, you remember when this was a story about 4 people just kind of looking for who killed someone? And in like a good way, where it's just like, wow, this has taken such a crazy turn. And I mean, Spo has been a player in the campaign. I guarantee you he was not expecting a lot of the shit that I ended up pulling towards like the later half of the campaign so far.
Yeah, it is kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen that one video where it's like, go TAs, you didn't have to cut me off, while there's like pyramids raising from UFOs and like Olmecs coming out of the ground and like shooting laser beams. But it's kind of like that.
Okay, I know that meme. Yeah.
I don't want to deceive people, but I want them to kind of underestimate the story in a way, and maybe that's not the healthiest way to look at it from a storytelling perspective.
I think that's cool.
I like to fuck with people,
Yeah.
Like I like to really kind of get them thinking of, what did I just read? Because a lot of the inspirations for a lot of the story kind of come from, and this is more of like a personal thing, but I wrote Diesel Train during a very turbulent part of my life. I won't go too much into it, but it was mostly just Diesel Train came from my fear of change, of things in my life. Like a lot of big things happened during that period in my life. And I've always been somebody who has kind of felt as if a lot of the decisions in my life were made for me, and I wasn't really allowed to make those decisions for myself. So I've always been scared of change. And going into writing Diesel Train and bringing people along with, I almost kind of want them to be scared of change as well. But as the characters that they play progress through the story, I want them to have to reluctantly accept that. And because of that, they become stronger. And I don't necessarily expect that out of my readers. I don't expect my readers to do any sort of legwork aside from reading the story at a base level. But I think I put a lot of effort into structuring it the way that it is, just so those big reveals at the end hit so much harder. And I can't say anything else except I'm really excited to get to that point. And I want to keep doing Diesel Train, and I'm just so excited to share with the world.
I gotcha. I will admit my attention span might be a little fucking fried. I'm willing to admit that, but I think a lot of majority of people's attention spans are also fucking fried too. So I don't feel like I'm that alone.
No, you ain't.
Yeah, I'm not alone. So I'm like, okay, what does everyone with attention spans that are fried would want? Because mine is too.
Some Diesel Train will be the story that'll fix everyone's attention spans. All right,
you heard it here first.
That's what we're saying.
you heard it here first. All right. Well, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I think we should wrap it up right here. Anything else, you guys? Read Diesel Train. You know what? I'll put a link to it in the comments, so people can click on that. Right. Yeah, so people can check it out. And we'll see if we won't lose the Cyber Shell boost we got from last episode. Yeah, because that episode was like we finally reached 1K views on. Which is,
I mean, it was pretty
time
good.
To bring him on every other episode.
Make sure we'll have to make sure to. I'm interested to see what you do with your My Alien Girlfriend thing. I've definitely been liking a lot of the pages I've been seeing that you've been sketching out.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was talking about Berserk earlier, but let's say My Alien Girlfriend is gonna have a real Berserk turn in these next comics. All right.
I'm very interested now. That is very ominous, but I can't wait.
It's gonna get pretty berserk up in here. I'm gonna try to finish. I'm gonna see if I can, because I'm super fucking busy with my work, and helping my partner's small business too. That also takes a portion.
Cheesy's talking about straight Zerk in it in this comic. I don't know what that means, but you should also know it's going to be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to try to have it all finished before Comic-Con, which is this month.
There you go.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you for inviting me here. This is great.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, we're gonna invite you again potentially. When Diesel Train needs a boost in viewers, we'll have you on.
Exactly.
I'm fine with that.
That's what the Fupa Fellas is all about.
I always had the dream of having a podcast where like, okay, I can just have a buddy on and they can promote their bullshit on here. I don't care. It's fine.
Exactly.
I know it's tough out there, so I'm not against like self-promotion.
Listen, we will become the Come Town of Webcomic podcast by God.
Yeah, by the end of the year, we'll be the Come Town of Webcomics.
We will have to crawl our way there, or you guys will have to crawl your way there, building it brick by brick.
They'll get there. I'll call in all the guests, all the popular fucking people I know to jump on eventually. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. All right, and that was who the hell are you guys again?
JinJango, good to talk to you.
I'm Spoe, the co-host.
That's Spoe's the co-host, and I'm Cheesymanfredo, and this podcast is just a secret plot to get free commissions out of Spoe, because all the thumbnails are just my ideas that I tell him to do. I'm like, yeah, draw a fat Sally Acorn for this one.
That is not true. Yeah. That is a fabrication.
Yeah,
I was the one who came up with the idea of Sally Acorn and Cassie. You can't steal that.
See, that's how mind-controlled Spoe is. He thinks it was his idea. He doesn't.
He put the fucking.
You're dropping your Dr. Doom.
He put his little spores, his little hair follicles in your lungs, dude. He's controlling your mind. He's the puppet master.
I'm controlling your mind. And
Dude, you got Doom spores, and we aren't at 1K subs yet. Come on now, drop more of them.
I'm dropping them, but they keep going in the fucking ocean and dissolving.
Yeah, why don't you mind control more fans to subscribe?
I'm fucking.
All I'm getting is planktons. They don't know how to use YouTube.
They only let me get thumbs. I only was managed to afford 2 grams of Dune spores for mind control, and I fucking dumped them in the sink by accident.
Oh, fuck. Put them in the drinking water.
I'm working on it. And I'm Cheesymanfredo. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.